ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
We're just 1 week away from the June primary. Longtime Assemblymember Brian Mainshine is hoping to hold on to his seat for a 6th term.
The Democratic incumbent is up against 2 Republican women. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco takes a look at the race that is in a newly redrawn district.
2 Republicans are running against Democratic incumbent Assemblymember Brian Mainshine. Christy Bruce Lane is a director on the board of the Olivenhain Municipal Water District and the president of a nonprofit that helps homeless children who have been hurt by domestic violence.
I'm the only elected official in this race that has the community experience, the political experience as well. That has served my community prior to putting my name on the ballot.
June Cutter is running against Mainshine for the 2nd time. The attorney and business owner got 44% of the vote when she ran in 2020.
I'm running to serve the people, not to become an elected official, and it would be my honor to be able to serve the interests of this community.
Bruce Lane says her top 3 priorities are cutting taxes, homelessness, and the increase in crime.
The gas tax is certainly affecting all of our pocketbooks. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's affecting our people greatly.
Cutter says her priorities are reducing taxes, safety, and education.
I would want to do everything possible to not close down our schools, to take everything that we've learned over the last 2 years and implement a great scientific data-driven process to keep kids in school.
This map shows the neighborhoods represented in the newly redrawn 76th district. Registered Democrats still outnumber Republicans, but not by as much.
It's definitely a purple swing seat.
Mainshine has served 10 years in the Assembly. He switched from the Republican Party in 2019. He was called into an emergency caucus at the time of our interview, but sent us a statement listing his top 3 priorities as defending reproductive rights, combating homelessness, and strengthening public safety. He goes on to say, quote, "I am proud to have a 100% voting record with Planned Parenthood, and I will continue to fight against erosion of a woman's basic human rights." He continues, "When I was San Diego's first commissioner on homelessness, I created Project 25 to house our region's chronically homeless individuals, which was one of the most successful programs in San Diego's history." Mainshine says he's also been named a gun sense candidate by Moms Demand Action. Mainshine says he voted against raising the gas tax and will continue to oppose increased taxes. The 2 top vote getters will advance to the general election in November. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
Democrat Tasha Boehner Horvath represents the 76th district right now. She's running for the 77th district.
Supreme Court officials are ramping up their investigation of a leaked draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade. In an unprecedented move, they're now asking law clerks to provide phone records and sign affidavits in their search for the source of the leak. That's according to sources familiar with the efforts. Politico published the draft opinion on May 2nd, prompting an outcry among conservative court members poised to roll back abortion rights.
A former advisor to President Donald Trump has been subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury as part of the Justice Department's investigation into the January 6th attack. Peter Navarro says he was served by the FBI at his home in Washington, D.C. last week. The subpoena is the first known instance of prosecutors seeking testimony from someone who worked directly with Trump during his time as president. Navarro ran a number of unsuccessful campaigns for local and state offices as a Democrat or independent while living in San Diego. A key loss today in the effort to find wrongdoing in the investigation into former President Trump's ties to Russia during the 2016 election. A jury found a lawyer with connections to Hillary Clinton not guilty of lying to the FBI. In 2016, Michael Sussman had passed along a tip about a possible back channel between the Trump organization and a Kremlin-linked bank. Ultimately, the FBI did not find an improper link. Trump Attorney General Bill Barr appointed special counsel John Durham to look into the Russia investigations. Durham accused Sussman of lying by saying he was not acting on Clinton's behalf when he made the tip. Sussman says he's grateful to be cleared.
I told the truth to the FBI, and the jury clearly recognized that.
This was the first case Durham brought to a jury in his investigation. A different case against a Russian expatriate is scheduled for October. Now to jury deliberations continuing in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial. Each is suing the other. with claims and denials of domestic abuse central to the case.
ABC's Morgan Norwood shows us some of the more dramatic moments of the trial as we await a verdict.
The jury in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation case returning to the deliberation room for a second day, combing through 6 weeks of testimony from both sides claiming to be victims of abuse.
Johnny has taken enough of my voice. I have the right to tell my story. I have the right to say what happened to me. I have the right to my voice and my name.
It's insane to hear heinous accusations of violence.
Depp suing Heard for $50 million over a Washington Post op-ed that she wrote in 2018, describing herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Johnny Depp wasn't named in the article, but his legal team maintains that it damaged his career and future potential earnings.
I have spoken up for what I've been carrying on my back reluctantly for 6 years.
Amber Heard is countersuing for $100 million after Depp's team called her claims a hoax.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day.
The trial reeling in an audience of millions around the world and dozens who have shown up to this Virginia courthouse day after day. Now a jury deliberating which side to believe with millions of dollars at stake. And a source close to the trial telling ABC News that jurors must answer 7 questions when determining whether Johnny Depp and his legal team have proven elements of defamation. That decision, though, must be unanimous. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
The Supreme Court is blocking a controversial Texas law about social media from going into effect. That law would block online platforms from moderating or removing content based on viewpoint. Texas passed that law after accusing companies like Twitter of being biased against conservatives. The tech companies say the law would require them to allow content such as pro-neo-Nazi and KKK comments, as well as Russian and ISIS propaganda. Today's decision blocks the law while it goes through the lower courts. Experts predict the Supreme Court will ultimately have to rule.
If you have plans to visit the Disneyland Resort anytime soon, listen up. Coming up, the 2 major changes the theme park is making to its tickets. And the CDC is now warning of a potential COVID-19 rebound after patients take the antiviral Paxlovid, how long it could take for a recurrence of symptoms.
And another checkup, time saver traffic, this time the northbound 5 at 6th Avenue, still moving along nicely there. And then the 805 at the 163 backing up.